Well, good evening, good people. Mark Holmes here, and as always, I want to say thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Blue Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. Hope everybody is having a great Monday. Shout out to everybody who came through for our live stream. I appreciate each and every one of you guys that come in and support the Joe Blue Sports Report, and have been for a long, long time. I got a little bit vocal today because oh my God, I get so tired of the Cowboys getting close, but not doing everything possible. There's many things in my life, I don't know how we were able to do them. I look at this house right here. This house was, I had so many doors shut in my face as far as saving this house. But I was determined that we were going to be able to do it. And once I got it, the zoning for this was highway commercial. And trying to figure out a way that we could save it and get a building permit, it was supposed to be a commercial building, which meant that you had to provide 5 parking spaces. Well, there's not, the only way you can get 5 parking spaces on the land that's here is bulldoze the building down. Well, if you bulldoze the building, there's no reason for anybody to park here. And so I had to work on that for 6 years. 6 years to finally get them to change the zoning to local business, which means it could be a business or it could be a resident. In which case, we're still figuring out what the business is going to be and so on here. But be that as it may, we have options. And it would have been really easy to say, well, we can't do that. Well, we finally get the building permit. Then you got to come up with the money to go ahead and figure out how to do all the work and stuff. So that was another task in itself. And I still don't know how we were able to get it all together and done. But I know that I worked every single day trying to find a way to make it work. With the Joneses, I think they're okay if they don't make it work. There's no ramifications. Other teams, other GMs that aren't the owner, they know if they do not perform, they're getting fired with the coach. They're getting the blame. They're the fall guy. And so they live in fear of failure. There's no fear of failure with Jerry Stephen Jones. They win or lose, oh yeah, we'll be a little upset, and we'll yell at the coaches and we'll throw the players under the bus, but nobody's losing anything. They still get paid. They're still the richest franchise in football. So it's more of a play thing. It's not a matter of, if we don't perform, we got to find a new job to figure out how to put food on the table for our family. And with it, they have that kind of mentality that, yeah, we'll do it whenever we feel like it. I'm not going to be rushed. I'm going to be cheap about how I spend the money and stuff. And the thing is this is not like the Cowboys team has been down and out, that they aren't close. With the exception of this past year where everybody got hurt and they let go 9 starters, you look at the 21, 22, 23 seasons that you were 12-5. Just think if the Cowboys had just gotten a couple more free agents to take them over the hump. Kind of like what the Rams did in the middle of the season, bringing in Von Miller and Odell Beckham. You remember that, right? Making trades for guys like Jalen Ramsey. They didn't go cheap, or even Matthew Stafford. They recognized we have a hole and we got to put the best player we can in there. And that's what the Eagles do. When the Eagles lose a free agent, damn if they don't seem to try and find somebody that's better than the person they lost. We just look at it and say, my precious draft picks. No. We can't use those to try and get primo. But we'll take some later ones and just say, oh, well, we rated him a couple years ago as a number 2. So even though he's done absolutely nothing thus far, it's okay. And we toss those away. But if it comes to somebody who's playing legitimately, oh, no, we can't. No, we can't do that. Oh, no, that's too much money. This is the maddening thing about being a Cowboy fan is we can feel that you're close, and they won't do anything. It drives me crazy. You know, the thing is I feel like the Cowboys have done some really good things this offseason. I look at this draft class and I feel excited about them. Let's be real, we feel excited about all of them. But I feel like, you know, here it is. We've got Holden, wide receiver. You know, he's come in. He's got the attitude. He's got the edge and everything. And, you know, he's coming here to, you know, for guys' heads and things. And, you know, and he's got the attitude like he was a first-round draft pick and things. But the reality is the Cowboys don't have any belief in him. You gave him the number 7, which is Diggs' number. You gave him the number 7, which is Diggs' number, which says, we know we're not taking Diggs' number. Now, they can change it later on. But they also didn't give him 1 cent guarantee. He got $3,000 as a signing bonus. And that's it. Nothing else. But when you hear the Cowboys and talking heads and stuff, like my buddy Clarence sent me a text message the other day that Holden might be our number 2 wide receiver. We build up this hype for guys, and you would think that they are the best player to ever step on the field. When the reality is he ain't making a team. He's not going to be anywhere close to it. Now, maybe I'm wrong. I'm hoping I'm wrong. I'm hoping that it becomes the next Jerry Rice. That he is the next Tony Romo, who was undrafted and comes in and plays lights out. But, you know, I don't believe that that's going to be the case. And the more I dig into, oh my God, I'm not going to pull the numbers up tonight, but the Amari Cooper move, the numbers that he had last year are atrocious. I mean, they are, when you look at how bad he was in comparison to all the other wide receivers in football, Jalen Tolbert's numbers blow him away. And that is a fact. But the Cowboys, you know, they say Amari Cooper has a mutual interest in coming back to the Cowboys as well because ain't nobody else calling. Ain't nobody else calling. Yeah, man, they interested. I'm interested. I'm looking for a job. And that's where it's kind of like, here we go. The Cowboys, this will be good enough. Instead of doing something bold, get something great. And that, my friends, is what holds this team back. We're okay with this. This is a cost-effective move. This is a value move. I'm sick of value moves. Get me something great. Get yourself a guy who's going to be there for 3 or 4 years. Get you somebody who's legit. Because that's what you'll need if you're going to win it all. If you don't, we'll win a few more games. But I'm sick and tired of watching other teams go into the dance over and over again. And for no other reason than we did a value move. Cowboys got to be bad for my health. Well, that being said, I learned something incredible. You can probably see some of the floor right here. And this board right here is about 12 inches wide, right? This has nothing to do with the Cowboys, but I read it this morning and it just blew my mind away. This flooring is antique heart pine, which is a slow growth pine tree that literally grows slow. It has a lot of sap in it, and it's just as strong and stable as oak is. The problem is it takes so long for these trees to mature, and they were overforested. See, it won't grow in my lifetime where it's usable. Here's how slow it grows. It grows an inch in about 20 years. 1 inch in 20 years. So if we look at this board here, that's 12 inches wide. This 12-inch piece right here, 12 times 2, that piece of wood right there on the floor took 240 years to grow. $240 years. So, when you think of this house is 200 years old, and that piece of wood that I walk on took about 240 years just for that width to grow. 440 years, well, 445 years of time that piece has been here to grow. It literally blows my mind away. Just thought I'd pass that on. It's probably not interesting to anybody else other than me, but it's amazing. And that piece of wood will probably be here after I'm dead and gone and nothing but dust in the wind. Which brings me to remembering to tell all the people you care about how much you love them and appreciate them, because you might not get the chance again. And I love you guys, and I appreciate y'all. And God willing, it's getting harder and harder to get this old ass body up. God willing, we'll all see each other tomorrow.